Hi guys, when the DUP campaigned and voted for Brexit, they didn't just shoot themselves in both feet, they attempted to do the same to the people of Northern Ireland. They were warned on a number of occasions what would happen, and they ignored all those calls. Because they didn't get their way on the type of Brexit that was imposed, they pulled the plug on the Northern Ireland executive. Now the UK government is pulling the plug on Northern Ireland. Levelling up funding that should have been made available to the Northern Ireland executive appears not to be forthcoming. The reason? There isn't an executive. Why isn't there an executive? Because the DUP didn't get the Brexit they wanted. Here Sammy Wilson, DUP MP, almost blows a gasket over the realisation that the Tories don't really care about Northern Ireland or his party.
Deputy Speaker, people in Northern Ireland will be angry tonight that a fund which the Minister describes as creating opportunities across all regions and nations of the UK and aimed at tackling regional inequality sees not one penny allocated to Northern Ireland. The Minister gives the flimsy excuse that this is because the Northern Ireland Executive is not up and running. The Northern Ireland Executive did not have any input into the previous rounds. It wouldn't have any allocation or any input in this round. And of course it didn't even have to seek new allocations for the simple new applications because there weren't any new applications. Is this not a case of blatant, pathetic, transparent economic blackmail to try and get the Assembly up and running again without addressing the reasons why it failed in the first place and using the money to pour into key Conservative constituencies, marginal constituencies, to bolster up party support?
Right on the mark. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I share my honourable friend's frustration that we've been unable to fund projects in Northern Ireland this time around. As I've already indicated to him, that's because of a lack of an executive in Northern Ireland. But what I would...
And now, Sammy, you can't shake your head to this. You know this is the reason. If there isn't an executive, how can the minister justify... Now, I hate defending Tory ministers, but I have to defend the Tory minister here. How can the Tory minister justify sending money to Northern Ireland, taking it from a constituency, say in England, and handing it over to Northern Ireland when that money will not be spent? How can he justify that? Because it will not be spent. Now, Sammy is doing a bit of fibbing also here, saying that, well, you know, we didn't have any input in how the money would be allocated. And we didn't have any input before in how the money would be allocated to Northern Ireland. But as far as I know, this is a decision made by Westminster. It's made by the government in Westminster. It's not the Northern Ireland executive can perhaps lobby for more money, and then they perhaps in some cases get more money. But at the end of the day, it will be Westminster that will decide how much money is sent to Northern Ireland or different parts of the UK, not the executives or the local governments. So Sammy's trying to be a little bit dishonest here, I believe, by saying, well, we didn't have any input. Yeah, but it doesn't matter whether you have input or not. Generally, it won't make any difference. But why don't you call the Tories' bluff here, Sammy, and the DUP? Why don't you reform the executive and then demand that they send the money? But you're not going to do that because you don't care. It's more about playing political games and throwing the people of Northern Ireland under a bus because you didn't get the Brexit you wanted. Or maybe it's another reason. Maybe it's because there's the risk of a Sinn Féin First Minister. But it's dishonest gameplay here. You know, you're blaming the Tories for not sending money to Northern Ireland, and the Tories are responding, well, what's the point in sending money to Northern Ireland? It won't be spent because there isn't an executive. And why isn't there one? Because the Brexiteers in Northern Ireland didn't get the Brexit they wanted. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.